Hello, everyone. Welcome to my live stream. And my appearance isn't really up to speed, so to speak, but I've been really impacted by everything going on in the country right now with coronavirus, but not just that, just the government in general, and um, just the weight of life in a society that is overall sick, not just now, but has been sick for quite a while. I watched the White House briefing, the coronavirus task force hold briefing, and they spoke on a lot of things. Great. Things are sounding a lot better. It sounds like overall, just my feelings about what is really happening across the country and the world. It seems as if things are really improving and moving in the right direction. That said, this is what Trump calls the apex right now. And so, the worst is we're in the midst of what is considered the worst based on the projections and numbers, which I've been monitoring through the New York Times mostly in the past, but now I'm just going solely on what I'm hearing in the coronavirus task force briefings without having a million tabs open and forcing myself to see things that I don't really want to see over and over and over again. It's coronavirus overload right now, so I'm trying to keep it minimal and find the best source. And Trump is the primary source. And even in the midst of lies, truth comes out. So we're all in this together, and I'm sure that the government understands that it's in their best interest to look out for the American people. So we have to just have faith, remain faithful, and do our part, and continue to do the right things, which is always the best option. And so the best thing for me to do right now as a citizen who, makes under 200K a year, doesn't own a home, moderately pretty bad credit, that is not something I'm proud of. It's just the way that the cookie has crumbled thus far. So it's something that I'm definitely going to improve. But it's weird because, not to excuse myself, because I have the knowledge of what needs to be done, but people aren't really taught in school how to handle credit. It's not something that, it's kind of like a mixture. What ends up happening is it's a mixture of how your parents' credit was, and just kind of luck, whether or not you run into the, trial and error, and whether or not you really want to change. And maybe, I could blame myself in saying, well, I'm looking long term, and what is who am I trying to prove myself to? who are these people who have assigned some number to me that I don't even know? That's really naive thinking. That's really, you know, I mean, I almost feel like it's almost like being bullied to participate in a system that I don't really, I never signed up for. But, being born in America, you're automatically signed up for things that you didn't even agree to. There was no real contract besides my social security number, which is a contract with the government. I'm not interested in um, claiming my sovereignty, and losing my American rights. I think that would be a bad move. And also, a bad move is to continue letting my credit be shit. So, that said, when I start to make money again, that will definitely be something that I'm, working on. And I have been working on it. It's something I just really haven't. I've been so reckless. I'm just really free spirited. Too much so sometimes where it shoots me in the foot. So I need to really, the contingency plan. Okay, back to the whole big picture here with what's going on and why I'm even talking about credit. Hashtag America works together. Yes, when this whole thing blows over, I'm going to be working my ass off and saving and contingency planning for future proofing my life. Months before, I was making about, I don't know, 10K on a good month, and a lot of it in cash, and just blowing money on Chanel, clothes I threw away, $300 pair of sweatpants, really. Just stuff that I really didn't, or just, food, just over extravagant meals every day. And, it is not conducive to my American life right now. I have to be responsible and save to plan. And, even if worst case scenario, and making and building friendships, really, because it's really who you know. And you need to know people who will have your back. Sadly, I don't really know anyone who would have my back, because I don't really invest time in keeping friends. I really don't want to hear other people's opinions for the most part, because I feel like a lot of people are just slaves right now. Not in a way, and I fall in that same category. So I'm no better, but I'm trying to be better. And in my line of work and where I've come from, I just haven't run into those people. I don't fit into the social circle that includes people who would be, I feel, the best option for me to be friends with. That said, I guess something or someone is better than no one, but I haven't found that to be the case. So I choose to not have a lot of friends, and I choose to be alone. And I feel that, maybe if I had a good friend right now, they would spot me a good bottle of Lysol. But I, maybe I could get a test, a coronavirus test, but I really have been isolating myself to the point of I haven't been interacting with many people, and I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. I don't know how easy it would be to pick up the coronavirus from a bag that is delivered from DoorDash that's been hanging. I mean, I feel like it's a low probability, and I haven't been sanitizing what's been coming in, but I also can't sanitize the food either. So it's kind of one of those things where you just have to go like that. And I have been staying out of the grocery store, which I feel is kind of the scariest place to go right now. If you can manage, it would probably it's definitely not probably it is definitely best idea to stay the fuck away from the grocery store. Stay out of there. I think for families watching, and for just individuals watching who has their own kitchen and can cook everything in there, just get everything you need at once. Sanitize it down when you get it into the door. Take your shoes off and leave your shoes on the door. Don't track your shoes in. Put a rug near the door. When you walk into your house, take your shoes off. If you have a sanitizing spray, spray it. If you have kids, be careful that they don't touch shoes, play with anything by the door that might have the virus. And just be very smart, and be very conscious of everything that you're touching, like the government is telling us to do, and the ad council and all of that good stuff. All of the people in places of power telling us to be careful with what we touch and where our hands go. And because the virus can last on surfaces for a really long time. So that's why I'm kind of, I'm cautious about DoorDash, and I've really been scaling back how much I've been eating. I've been taking this time to focus on my health and and I've just really been feeling great. My body feels strong. I've been doing body weight training every morning, and my sleep schedule is so strange. Like, I wake up at 4 p.m. today. I woke up at 4 p.m. and watched some of the coronavirus news, and now I'm making this video, and then I'm going to work out, drink a lot of water, stay hydrated, and I had some coffee earlier. I don't know if I'm going to order DoorDash. I had, like, at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock this morning, I ordered DoorDash and had, like, a bagel with, like, a bacon, egg, and cheese bagel, which I never really get stuff like that, but I was pretty hungry because yesterday I'd worked out pretty hard, and sometimes I tend to eat right before I go to sleep and I was just in a mood. I had been watching a lot of Law of Attraction. I've been watching a lot of Law of Attraction. I'm very much into Law of Attraction, Abraham Hicks. And so I see the reflection of the world as something that I'm attracting. And I know a lot of people would disagree, and that's okay. But I believe that it makes a difference in a very important way. And so I was watching, and I'll put in the description below the video that I'm literally going to watch every day, and spam watch this thing anytime I'm feeling bad about what's going on with the coronavirus right now. And I'm just going to, focus on a lot more time spent in a good mental, emotional place. And right now, today, this morning, and this afternoon, I've really been struggling emotionally. Like, I feel the weight of everything so hard right now, and that's not good for me, and it can't be good for anyone else. So I'm definitely going to work on that. And let's see, what else did they talk about so basically, I mean, it really sounded like Trump feels like we're heading in the right direction, that the numbers are, and he did say that he feels like things are going to get better very soon. But he doesn't want to say it just yet because he's still monitoring what's going on right now, which right now we're in the midst of like the worst on the curve of casualties. So America is getting, hospitals here are getting more ventilators, and so we're getting the medical supplies and everything that people need, because there have been a lot of videos out about people, like nurses and doctors have been complaining about they don't have what they need. So Trump was confirming that they're getting a lot more supplies, and he gave all the numbers. And I think California had a surplus of ventilators, so I think he's sending some over to another country who isn't doing as well. So he also talked about how he said that the World Health Organization should have came out with a lot of bad advice at the beginning of this whole pandemic, and that if they had done their job, he was alluding to if they had done, well, he kind of just said it outright, but basically he feels that the World Health Organization is very China-centric, and that if they have suggested months before Trump made the decision to close down the borders, if they had recommended, based on their knowledge of what was going on with the virus, if they had recommended to close down borders, then we'd have a lot less casualties now. But he was, of course, patting himself on the back like he usually does about how he, took the matters in his own hands and closed it down, even though people, including the Joe Biden, was suggesting that it might have been a bad idea for him to do that at the time. Now he's saying that the president made the right decision. So the vice president, not giving a fuck about politics. It's so sad. It is so really sad. Okay, Joe Biden who is he? Okay, whatever. So I don't know if it was Joe Biden. Who is the vice president right now? I don't even know. This is really sad. Jesus, help me. Mike Pence. Okay, Mike Pence. Do they look the same? Okay. They don't look the same. I can't say that Mike Pence and Joe Biden look the same. So Mike Pence is the vice president and he's 60. Joe Biden is 77. Okay. All right. So let me retract what I just said, because I'm like, I don't like saying things that I don't really know about. So I'm just trying to share the news. Anyway, the vice president, I believe, had said that at the time when President Trump closed the borders of flights, interaction between countries, between our country and China mainly, he had said that it was a bad call. But now whoever, I don't know if it's Mike Pence or Joe Biden, but so Trump said that he was going to stop funding to the World Health Organization. And a lot of, just random like YouTubers have said that that's a good idea. So, yeah, it was an interesting, like, it's actually really funny to just watch the guys who are like, putting in all the wiring and the lighting, like right before the big briefing happens, because they like crack the most jokes. Like they're just like doing their thing. It's pretty funny. But anyway, so yeah, basically things are getting better. It sounds like things are getting better. I can't see it taking a turn for the worse, but also Trump sometimes just switches the script entirely. So I'm not going to get too emotionally invested in. I'm going to stay hopeful. I'm going to be praying. I'm going to work on getting myself in a good mindset, but I'm also not going to put all my trust in Trump. And I never have. And I never have really with any politician, because, they have a really hard job, and stress does weird things to people. And usually it brings out really interesting things. And I just don't think that, when Trump was elected as president, before he got elected, I didn't vote. And I was telling everyone, well, if he does get elected, I think it'll be a really entertaining, because he did the show. He did, he was on TV before and he knows how to perform. It has been entertaining. It's been entertaining. I don't really pay attention to much of what's going on in the White House and like all of that. And I'm just paying attention now because I really honestly want to know, because my financials depends on what's happening right now. And that's kind of my only source of, well, God is my ultimate protection. Let's get that straight. God is my ultimate protection. So God has control right now, and I'm putting all my stock in God. So, but I would like some money. I would like to see a huge stack of money on my desk like I had a few weeks ago. So, I'm excited to be able to make money again, and I'm excited to go back to work. I'm excited to see people again. And I know all of this is, we're stronger for it. We'll get through it. And I'm just really going to work on staying positive, because that is going to be the only thing that I can really do, right for people. Like, it's not going to help anyone if I'm just like online crying and just bringing attention to a situation that is sad. It's not really going to help anyone. I mean, it's good to be honest, because we want to improve, and so we need to see what's really going on, and what affects you affects me, and vice versa. So it's good for us to be honest, but sometimes if you are too honest, like too much in the gravy pot of a reality that you don't want, it's not really the best idea to keep dwelling on it. You want to either work to find a solution, you want to get your mind right. Those are two major things that you want to do. You want to definitely get your mind right and your spirit right, your heart. And I think that is my number one goal right now. And it should be all the time for me, because honestly, we want to have, it's not going to help anyone if I'm suffering just because someone else is. That's not how the world works. And that's basically, I'm not going to be sad just because people are dying. It's not my job to be sad because other people are dying, because that's just going to mean one person is dying and I'm sad. That really isn't the goal, and there's compassion, which I have in loads. But I also have to just be realistic. I don't have someone in this hotel room dying, and although I am very concerned about what's going on, which is why I even am doing this right now, which is totally not even something that I particularly want to do. I just feel like I need to do it. There's only so much that I can do, I feel. And maybe that's a sign of the times that it's not that, I mean, viruses, biological warfare is no fucking joke. It is no joke, man. I just like when I was in middle school and I read The Hot Zone by Richard Preston, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So I've known the impact of, bioterrorism and just viruses spreading in general has always been something that I've been aware of, the intensity and the severity of it. And that was talking more so about Ebola, I believe. And Ebola virus, I mean, good Lord Almighty, protect us, Lord. It's like a virus, and it's not just viruses that we have to look out for spreading. It's ideas, it's bad ideas. That's probably the worst of them all because it doesn't show symptoms immediately or even in a period of time where you are able to catch it and do something about it. It's very low key, and that's really scary. Idea spreading is very, very, very scary, certain idea spreading. So, anywho, I've yapped enough. It's about 30 minutes in, and I pretty much, to sum it up, viewer, stay healthy in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, in your body. Stay healthy. Focus on your health right now. Focus on your plans for the future. Come up with contingency plans, but if it stresses you out to do that, just pray to God, and eventually you'll get the strength to come through and do what you need to do as far as contingency plan is concerned. Don't stress right now. You're doing a great job, and protect your kids. Make sure they're doing okay emotionally, and and our elderlies, we need to watch for their health and try to get their mind off of things because it's probably really scary for them, and rightfully so. So we need to make sure that we're social distancing even when you go out on a walk. And even when you go to the grocery store, I know a lot of people will like walk towards you really fast to where you can't even like dodge them and get out of the way. Don't start a fight. Don't confront anyone. Just try your best to get out of the way. And if it happens once where you're out in public in a certain area or zone and someone invades your space of 6 feet of social distancing, just get away from that area and don't go back until this all blows over, because it's going to be like that again, most likely, and it's not worth you getting sick or getting anyone else sick. So God bless you and take care. You are strong and you've got this. Have a good day or evening, depending on where you're at.